Hello and welcome. Welcome to Middle Earth readings for your week ahead. So today is Monday the 7th of June and we are here to look at what the runic astrology, what the movements of the planets through the runic wheel can tell us about our week ahead, how we can harness those energies, what might be coming for us, up for us energetically, emotionally, so that we can work with them as best we can. So my name is Maggie Rose Cunningham. I'm the founder of MaggieRose.com, for those of you who haven't joined before. And Middle Earth Readings is designed for seers, magicians, mystics, healers, artists, people who are drawn to work within the Northern European tradition, whether that is by your own heritage, your language, your land, or you just feel a calling. And that's what it's there for. And I've been practicing runic astrology for over 10 years now. It wasn't something that I had planned. I've been worked with the runes for much longer than that, but it was a calling. It started as curiosity. I was like, oh, this is interesting. What's going on here? And it has become more and more of a passion of mine. A sense that there is this energetic tapestry that we can work within and that can help to ground us and pull us into the Northern tradition and its spirituality, both in terms of what it was, but also in terms of what it could be for us. I can see that Cara is here. Hi Cara, lovely to see you. And hello Hannah as well. And I just invite you, please do share in the chat any runes that are coming up for you at the moment. And I can look to see how they might fit in with our week ahead. Hi Felicity. Felicity has answers today. Interesting, Felicity. We've got some twinkles there of thoughts, which I think we'll come back to answers on that. So before we start by looking at the three planetary movements that we have coming up through the week, I wanted to invite you to imagine a seed koner, or a seed worker, or a vitki. Now, a magical worker of the Northern tradition who is very attuned with the energies of land and people and the runes and the aspects of soul and self, which can sometimes seem strange and alien to us today, but we're just part of their being. And imagine that this seed koner is sitting upon a grave mound. A ancestral burial hill, a place of great magic and power. And they're reaching down into the earth with their consciousness, moving out of the sense of the defined and distinct self into that enmeshed, enwebbed conscious state where we know that we are connected, to all things, and we are able to work at an energetic level. And this seed koner is working with two energies. They're working with the energy of hamingja, which you can think of as being luck, success, happiness. It's very fiery, earthy energy. It's always, to me, it's that sense of life force. We know that hamingja is said to be gifted, but when we die, we can gift our hamingja, like down our line. That could be your family line, it could be a calling that you've had, it could be that you are a teacher in some way and the people that you've taught, and you're able to actively gift your hamingja, your luck or success, to your successors. So it's very much an energy of life force. It's not something that you take with you in terms of Northern tradition soul law, but we all have it within us. It's flowing through us all the time. Fehu, the rune that's very much associated with it, it's a little Fehu rune here. Is a rune of cattle and wealth, and very much the blood, the power of the blood flowing through us. It's this life force that flows through us. So this seed worker is feeling down into the land and into the past, into the places of the ancestors, and they're looking for blocks in this energy where it has become stagnant and cold. And for those of you who've worked with me before, working with the energies of dragon is really powerful here. Imagine a dragon that's hoarding and afraid and fearful. It's hoarding the gold, holding it tight. Often we hear about cursed hoards of gold that people wouldn't go near because they didn't feel good. They felt bad, and that's because the Fehu energy is no longer flowing. it's being disrupted, perhaps there's been a curse laid upon it, and there's no generosity. The life force has been drained, and the dragon tries to hold it in then. And that's what the seed worker is looking for. They're looking for these blockages in this Fehu hamingja energy, so that they can be unblocked. And we can do that through healing, and I work one-to-one with people working on finding those blockages, so that we can attract life force to us. Because the thing about the Fehu rune is that it must flow. If we try and hold on to our wealth hoard for the Fehu energy, it won't work. No, we're just disrupting and stopping its flow. So that's earthy golden energy. And while they're doing this, they're also breathing. They're breathing in and out, and in and out, and connecting with the energy of Und, which is the breath of life gifted by Odin. We're sort of told, with Ask and Embla, the first man and the first woman, Odin and his brothers, they breathe life into the first man and the first woman. So we have our Fehu energy, our life force, but we also have our Und energy, the breath of life. And the two of these combine within us, and they're very complementary. They're not entirely the same. And when I think about the Und energy, to me, it's very much connecting with the elements of air and water. It's a more flowing, subtle energy than the hamingja energy, and we can feel it with the breath. So the practitioner is working with both of them to release and cleanse, and to allow both of these energies to flow more into the present moment, so that we aren't experiencing blockages, bad luck, disruption, a dissipation of our energy, a blocking of what we're trying to achieve in our lifetimes. Working at this level energetically helps us to do that. So I wanted to give you that little bit of a picture before I introduce you to the 3 planetary movements for this week. So we have tomorrow, we have Frigg's chariot is moving into Fehu, which is why I wanted to bring in the Fehu rune here, because while we have Frigg's chariot is also often connected with the goddess Freya, and the two of them, I don't see them as the same goddess. I know that some people do, and I do think that perhaps in the older history there was a goddess known as Freya, and it's possible that the two split and that she was an originating goddess. That's my own belief, my own opinion, is that they are separate and they serve separate functions, but they certainly work in partnership with each other, and they respect each other highly, and they're both connected in with the Fehu rune. And the Fehu rune often brings out more of Freya's energy than Frigg. So I'm really feeling her at the moment. She's a sorceress. She's a lover. She's a warrioress. I always think of her as a queen in her own right, even though Frigg is the queen of heaven and Freya goes and lives in Asgard. I still see her in terms of status as being a queen. And she's really calling us to work with this Fehu energy. She's saying, stand in your magic and your power. When I say your magic, I mean that which is unique to you, that which you are called to work with. I think it's one of the maybe confusing things in the modern times, but also one of the blessings is that we are able to pursue our own calling, to look for wisdom and knowledge from across the lands. Most of us will have a very complex cultural and biological history that we have to draw on as well. So she's saying, no, stand in your magic, claim your power in this time with Fehu as it comes through tomorrow. And that will be available for you to work in that way. And I'm going to do a little bit of work. I'm going to share with you a working that we can use for that at the end of this. Then we have a new moon in Athala. And we are already in the half month of Athala. So here, Athala, we have the ring of ancestry and the stead and estate. Odin's chariot is already in Athala. So once the new moon comes in as well, it's a really, really powerful time. And it combines this flowing energy of Fehu, the sort of wealth and the flow and the gold, with the land and the stability and the structure. So, I was saying that with Fehu, we need to allow the wealth to flow. Athala is a slightly different aspect to wealth in that sense. It can be passed on. It is that which we inherit. It is our relationship with land, with family, ancestry. So when I talk about the seed worker sitting on the burial mound, this is bringing Fehu and Athala together. And this new moon in Athala really gives us this opportunity to tap into that Athala energy, to ground and center, and to think about legacy. To think, I am part of all that has come before. I stand on the shoulders of giants. I love that saying. I can't remake my story. I can reinterpret it and reimagine it, but I can't just wipe it to one side and say that didn't happen. I can't change what's happened in the past, but I can now work to say, what's the legacy that I want to bring forward? And the new moon allows us to do that with a sort of rushing, exciting, new seeds, new life energy that's coming through with the moon there. And then the very end of the week, we have Suna's chariot moving into Dargaz, the rune of the day, of transformation and change and breakthrough. And it is coming at the end of the week, so I'll probably talk about it a little bit more next week when we're fully embodied in the Dargaz energy. But to my mind, this opportunity to work with Othala and Fehu is an opportunity for cleansing and clearing, which I feel that a lot of us have felt a very strong energy through the last few weeks, couple of months. It's been very, very strong, but it's not always been easy to clear. We've almost had to ride the tide and just go with it. And this week provides us with an opportunity to be a bit more active and to do some of that cleansing work so that we're ready for our Dargaz moment, the gateway of transformation that Dargaz offers us. This union of opposites. You can see that Dargaz unites opposites, divine feminine, divine masculine, past, future, all of the different polarities, creation, destruction, and it reminds us that they all come together. This is a real test of my abilities to trace a moon while doing it opposite, away from myself. There we go. And it's a little bit like the Mobius loop, for those of you who like maths a little bit. The flow of the eternal comes in. So it's Dargaz rune really brings that our ability to engage with the bigger picture, the eternal union of everything, where time collapses in on itself, and to be totally present in the moment, in that space of minute observation of the moment, and to recognise both simultaneously. It's the last rune in the Elder Futhark, so it's very much a rune of enlightenment and what's the word I'm looking for? That sense, I suppose, of unity and oneness in the moment, where everything falls away and we see clearly, and we see more than we can explain in words. That the moment of enlightenment is what it offers to us. So if we can harness this, the Fehu energy and the Athala energy, we'll be in a really good place to then bring that through. So what I wanted to do was, actually I'm going to look at what your runes are, and then we'll do our little exercise. So let me see. So Felicity says, Ansu. So Felicity, for me, I was thinking for you of the Ond, of the breath, of working with the breath. I'm really working at quite a deep level of doing that work where you breathe in fully and then you breathe out fully, so you don't leave any sort of stagnant oxygen in the pit of your lungs. So you're getting that real life force coming in there. Renewal and cleansing through air, it would be what I would feel there. Whereas Hannah, you've got Rado, and I think that came up just as I was talking about the seed worker. Obviously, seed work is about journeying. Rado is the rune of the journey, of the road, of the ride. And so when I'm feeling that with you, I'm almost feeling a sense of almost like taking the pulse of your day, like really getting into the rhythm of your day. And if you do have time for any form of journeying practice, now is a good time. Drumming work will be really useful for you. And it feels to me as if there's something out there that's calling you a little bit, but the more that you reach for it, the more elusive it becomes. And it's also actually becoming one with the horse, like the pulse, the rhythm of the day, the being present to your own movement, to the movement of your body, to the rhythm of the cycle of the day. Then it's like the knowledge or whatever it is that you're missing will come, rather than pursuing it like a hunter, is the sense that I'm getting there. Kara has Tewaz, Ooh, interesting. Taiwas is coming up for me. Maybe not so much this week, but in the future weeks. So I'm wondering if there's a preparatory phase for you here, Kara. Yeah, I'm sort of seeing. I'm imagining a battlefield, so like a battlefield where everyone's going in the fray, but there's you and you're there and you're at the side a little bit. You're a bit like, I'm going to wait my moment. I've got my spear ready. I'm waiting my moment. I'm having that patience, stillness, calm. I'm not feeling a sense of, I must take action right now. It's much more, I'm going to be poised, and when the moment is ready, my Tewa spear will take flight. I will know when the time is right, is what I'm feeling for you there, Cara. So I hope that makes sense. Do pop in the chat box if it doesn't, but it is that sense of sort of a pause and a waiting and a knowing. Erica has urus. That's a really lovely deep energy there, Erica, and really connecting for me in with the land. I was mentioning the Athala work. I'm seeing this as being healing from the land, maybe ancestral land as well, if you think about the urus and coming with Athala, tapping into the power of the ancestral land at a very deep level, very intuitive level. I don't know if you were at the... I think you were at the Healing with the Runes piece where we worked with the Aurochs at the workshop last Friday. And I'm feeling that there's maybe more for you there, not necessarily with the Aurochs, but perhaps that's a way in to this, this deep healing work. And perhaps something buried deep in the ancestral line that needs to be uncovered and honoured in some way. Hi Marie, lovely to see you too. Suzanne has Largus. So Largus, for you, Suzanne, I'm feeling as if that, that the flow of water and literally working with the flow of water, drinking water, baths or showers, really working with that. We're going to be doing the meditation, and I'll discuss the idea of the seed worker. It's almost like that water is your friend with this, really allowing it to cleanse at a very deep level, almost imagining it in your bones, as it goes through is going to be incredibly important. Feeling blockages that are ready to be released within the body that have been held quite strongly, and now are saying, let's use this time, let's use this Fehu Athala time to do that cleansing, and Largus is coming forward to do that with you. Alexis has Iwas. Oh, very nice. Rooted. I'm seeing the ravens hugging and munning quite strongly, sort of around the tree. This sense of your sorceress self drawing in that which you need, drawing in the people that are meant to work with you. That sense that you don't need to journey outwards. You need to be, and hugging and munning the ravens of thought and memory. Odin's ravens are sort of circling and calling people to you. It's about standing in your power. If we go back to the Fehu, when I was talking at the beginning about this idea of owning your magic, it's almost embodying your magic for you. Alexis is what I'm getting that sense of really feeling it in your body and feeling that your presence will draw that which is needed to you. Marie has Thurus and Dargas. Oh, really powerful combination, Marie. I'm feeling a need for... There's some willpower that's needed with the Thurus rune, and Dargas. It's like a new opportunities coming, new horizons beckoning, but that need for a little bit of drive with the Thurus rune. I'm imagining Thor with his hammer a little bit. He's not smashing stuff, but he's almost like yes, needing that connection to vision and that really driving force. Not even pulling you or pushing you. You are the force moving forward with that. Les has manas. Owning your space, Les, I think, very much so. Again, I'm coming back to owning your magic for this sense that you are already connected to the ancestors through the work that you've done with land. You're already connected into the magic, and it's literally about owning that and saying, this is me, this is who I am, and this is what I embody with the manas runes. So real sense of pride and confidence in that. My runes are at my house. I will pick one for you, Sally-Ann. Yes, I will do that. So let me draw that for a moment. I'll check that there's nobody else. Alexis says, 2 ravens moved into my forest last week. Totally feeling what you've read. Oh, that's great. I'm really pleased for that, Alexis. And I can see that connecting with your oak, Erica, I must have missed part of your comment there. But I shall look back on them to see. But it looks as if you've got what you need from that. Let's have a look, Sally-Ann, then. There we go. I have to wait for them to tingle. And you've got the Yarrow rune, Sally-Ann, which is, to my mind, there's a reassurance operating here, a sense that patience is needed, but there, in the long term, it's providing that reassurance, center, stability, grounding, that things will play out as they are intended to, that you can see with the 2 parts of the Yarrow rune, there's a sense for me of this time is a hinge in some way between the winter and the summer, and perhaps at the moment there's a sense of it's one or the other. It's either going to be bad or good, or I've got to follow this path or that path, or I can put my energy here or I can put it there. And I think the Yarrow rune is saying that this too will pass. Give it patience, and the path will become clearer. Is what I'm going to. It's not saying that you need to do anything differently at this point. I think it's literally offering reassurance, and perhaps saying as well that if you have places or spirit guides, guardians that you connect into, that this is a good time to do that in order to just feel that sense of calmness and centre for yourself. I feel as if there's something else trying to come through, but it's niggling at me, Sally-Ann, so I'll see if that continues to come through, maybe through the exercise that we're going to do. So I'm going to share with you a little exercise that you can do that you might find useful for this week, tapping into, at a more gentle level. We're not all necessarily going to go out into burial mounds and perform great rites of ancestral healing work. Maybe some of you will, I don't know. But what we can do is we can work with that hamingja, the luck, life force energy, the Fehu energy of the golden life, reds, browns, greens, all coming through, and the breath as we breathe by chanting the Fehu rune. So what I would invite you to do is to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, quite sort of low down on the belly. And just start by connecting into those and remembering that the first man and the first woman were trees. And if we think of our spine as the great tree with energetic connections that take us right down into the earth, for those of you who've done that sort of rooting meditation before, you imagine roots going right down into the ground. Just knowing that is almost or like an ancestral connection to the time, when we were as one with the trees, that we have that, and feeling that Fehu energy drawing up from the earth, and then again with the branches stretching out, reaching up with the Ansu's rune of the breath. And what I'd like you to do is basically just sit, and in your own time just start with your breath. And just allow your breath to slowly work deeper. Being aware of its movement right down into the base of your lungs. And being aware that your body, through the process of breathing, draws the air all the way through you. And it passes right down, to every part of you. And it's taken to every cell in your body. So its journey deepens through your whole body. And we start by asking the breath to just clear any blockages that we can feel in the body, any blockages to the Ond, to the breath of life. And you can spend some time working on that. You might just focus on the back of the neck, the area of the back of the head, shoulders, shoulder bones, just allowing yourself to shift as you need to, as you breathe. And then deepening even further and feeling that root connection and chanting the Fehu rune. And as you chant Fehu, and I'm going to do it a few times for you, feeling that golden life energy just emanating through you as the blood flows in your body and as you connect into the earth, feeling that golden flow, and again just allowing it to release any blockages that you can feel in the body, in your energetic body, in your physical body, and allowing yourself to move if you need to. And as you continue doing that chanting for as long as you need to, anytime you need to through the week, you almost imagine that golden or red flowing energy flowing through your body, and just paying attention to the different parts of your body, and just if you sense any blocks or I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, like gnarls or like knots. And if you think about like tree roots, these gnarls or these knots, just allowing the Fehu energy and the breath to slowly work away at them and release. That's what you can do with that meditation. And I did the Fehu rune 4 times then, because it's the sacred number of the Ansu's rune. So we were working with Ansu's and Fehu, so of course I would like to do that. But you could do that for as long as you need to, and then bring yourself back and bring yourself into the breath once more. And then feeling that connection and that rooting, that grounding to the earth, you can then bring yourself back. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe that's that. It's connecting into that calming energy. Sally-Ann might be what I was feeling in that sense of the Ansu's rune and the Fehu rune working in partnership together, just as the 2 sections of the Yarrow rune work in partnership together. Erica says, I watched the recording of the last webinar, Healing with Runes, and chanted Ooh as well, connecting with my oak tree ally. Oh, I love that. And connecting to your ancestral land in Kazakhstan. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm really glad. So I hope then that the reading is an affirmation for you of how important that work is for you. So I think that I have answered everyone's questions. Marie says, spot on. Great. Thank you, Marie. It's always nice to hear when that's working well for you. So wishing you a really powerful week ahead with much cleansing, much empowerment, claiming of your magic, connecting in with your land and your legacy, and waiting for that opening of the Dargaz moon on Sunday. And I will see you all next week.